Hi everybody, Chris Titley here and welcome to Scoreboard. Scoreboard is based on one simple premise, and that is premium access for curious minds. We have conversations with athletes, coaches, owners, CEOs, stakeholders, broadcasters, and people who think, lead and make things happen. No buzzwords, no jargon, just clear thinking, lived experience and lessons that you can use to be a better you. We bring the access, they bring the experience, and you bring the curiosity. Together, we build the only scoreboard that matters. Your own. Scoreboard. Premium access for curious minds.
This episode is powered by Swyftx, Australia's top-rated crypto exchange and proudly homegrown. Now let's get to today's episode.
Hi, it's Chris Titley here, and on today's episode of Scoreboard, the podcast, I'm joined by Cayla George. Cayla, thank you so much for being part of this series.
Thanks for having me. It's great. I'm happy to be here.
Cayla, where am I joining you from today?
I'm in sunny Cairns today at my home.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We're here on Wednesday, the 6th of August. How's your Wednesday been?
Yeah, look, between Paw Patrol and my dog's barking at the neighbour's dog and hanging out some washing, I mean, just there, off she goes again. Yeah, look, it's been a nice sunny day up here in the north, and I'm in a T-shirt and shorts, and I'm sure it's a lot colder down where you are.
Oh, look, it's okay. I'm wearing the jumper, but it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Now, just on Paw Patrol, very serious topic. Who are your favourite characters?
I like the main guy. I do know their names because I sing it with Pearl all the time. Rubble and Bubble.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep.
I should probably pay more attention, but I mean, maybe, yeah, Rubble.
Yeah, and is Bluey a frequent episode shower in your household as well?
It was right before the Rio Olympics. We were in Spain, and so she was obsessed with Bluey when we were in Spain. It's only just come back in the rotation just recently. But yeah, that's a hot favourite currently.
While on the topic of motherhood, how's it been professional athlete and being a mother at the same time?
It's been amazing for a few reasons. Pearl's an incredible young girl who just takes everything in her stride and nothing really phases her. She's been on planes, buses, over 300 trips on a flight, team buses, team environments, locker rooms, has aunties all over the world. And I've also had really great support from my husband, my mum, my family, my sister-in-law, Serena, that have, had moments where they've all come and travelled with me at some point with her. So she's been able to be a part of things. So, and of course, like the teams that I've played for have really supported that, which is incredible. And it made my life a lot easier. So, just recently she was in China with us for the Asia Cup Gold, and we were away for just over 3 weeks, and that's just way too long for us to be without each other. So Kyla took some time off work. That's my husband, and he came over too. We made a real family trip of it. And so, yeah, it was incredible. Basketball Australia really supported me in that space.
Oh, that's amazing. Just on basketball, the topic itself, you've gone through various iterations of your life with basketball. I'd love you to describe your relationship with basketball now, and I suppose, has it changed over time?
Yeah, it's a really loaded question. It has definitely changed over time. I feel like when I was younger, I was doing it to prove that I was good enough, and that I deserved to be what I wanted to do and where I was, and the goals that I had were not crazy. And now, since the bronze medal, I definitely have an element of peace about my outlook of basketball. And if I was to stop right now in this moment, I would be really grateful and be really at peace with my career to date. Because of that bronze medal, that was just an incredible feeling to be able to win that. And we were really obviously missing out on medals the previous two Olympics, with the Opals having such a massive medal winning legacy. I wanted to be a part of a medal winning Opals Olympic team, to be a part of that medal winning, podium winning legacy. So really stoked to have that. So I think that's given me a lot of peace. So yeah, whatever will be from here on out is a bonus. In saying that, I'm still playing at a high level, still want to do really big things. And, I'm not thinking about retirement right now. I know it's, closer than what I was when I first started, but I'm certainly still right in the mix for whatever's coming up next. WNBL season, there's a World Cup to prepare for. There's, things along the way to prepare for that. And yeah, that's just where I'm at, but I've got a lot more peace.
That's amazing and very well described. I'm curious to know about, you touched on goals there, and obviously the bronze medal was part of the missing piece, I suppose. Did you set goals in regards to outcomes, or are you a goal setter when it comes to your own individual goals and let things be?
A little bit of both. I guess in Rio we were expected to medal. In Tokyo we were expected to medal, because the Opals have that expectation of them and on them, which we don't take lightly. It comes with a lot of pressure as a unit and on each other on a personal level. So it can be quite daunting if you let it debilitate you. But also if you flip it, it's actually like such an honour to be a part of it. And so when we didn't succeed in Rio and Tokyo, that took me a bit to bounce back from. And I'm sure you could ask any of the Opals that were part of those games that it was a lot. It was a lot to bounce back from for both for different reasons. For, the Rio loss in the quarter against Serbia was a lot to recover from. And then, my daughter's just walking at me like with snot and tears and...
This is why I love doing authentic live podcasts, because this is the true person behind, as opposed to some sort of professional outfit. And if the listeners out there would see me right now, I'm in my hoodie and I've got long hair. And hello, is it Pearl?
This is Pearl.
Hi, Pearl. I'm Chris.
Say hi.
Have you been watching Paw Patrol?
Say yeah. Anyway, so where was I? So
bouncing back from Rio.
Bouncing back from Rio was my first Olympics. Had the expectation that we were going to win a medal. So when you don't hit that expectation, you just feel like a piece of crap, and you think about I should just go hide in a hole for a while. You've tarnished the Opal's legacy because you didn't medal. Like, there's so much that you've got to process and work through. Similar with Tokyo. So coming into Paris, I was really hungry, all of us, because there was a crew of us that had been a part of all three. When I say a big crew, there was like a chunk of us. So not winning a medal wasn't an option. So that bronze medal game, I think I woke up crying, cried in the anthem, cried during warm-ups. My eyes are like welling up thinking about that emotion of that day in particular, because I was like, well, this is it. Like, will I medal? Will I go to the next Olympics? I can't even think that far ahead. That's a long time away, and I'll be almost 40. Haven't ruled it out, but it's just in that moment of those games, we have an opportunity to win a medal here, to kind of make up for the last two Olympics where it just felt incredibly dissatisfying. And so, yeah.
I'm going to
Ezzy just was an absolute goat that day and just completely put us all in a backhand test. And Belgium were hungry because they lost the bronze medal game in Tokyo. So they really wanted a bronze medal too. But it's like, well, sorry.
Before we go on to that particular game, I'm going to dive back into the campaign. It didn't start well, right? And what were you thinking, and how did you pick yourself up from that early part of that campaign, whereby you've had the last 4 years of like rejection going, oh my goodness, this is not starting well?
Well, that trampoline play didn't start well either for Pearl. Do you want to come back?
Oh, no. Have you got one of those Vuli trampolines with the little rings around them? Yeah.
Yeah, like with the not
the old what's it called? The cage wrestling. Yeah.
Did you bite your tongue? Oh, that's no good. So we had a really great leadership group from top to bottom. So when we did fall in that first game, obviously expectations were, you look at, teams on paper, you look at, we were second in the world. Nigeria were 10th, I think, at that time. I might be wrong, but they were, in the top 10. So they're a tough nation. They've got players that have been in that group for a long time. They've played at, a big chunk of international events together. And so no one can be taken lightly in tournament play. No one. Like, it's tournament play. Like, anything can happen. I don't think anyone can really anticipate the nerves and the pressure that you can feel no matter who you are and what team you are in the first game of an Olympic Games. The magnitude of an Olympic Games, when you really think about, oh my gosh, I'm at the Olympics, no matter if it's your first, second, third Olympics, it can still get you. And so maybe we had a bit of an overwhelming moment at some point, but I actually thought we started the game all right. And then they came at us and we just were unable to combat their momentum and their will to win. And I'm happy that they created history. It kind of sucks that it was against us in that moment, but they also went on to create more history for Nigeria as the first African team to ever qualify for a quarterfinal at Olympics, which is incredible. So they actually had a phenomenal tournament. It wasn't just like a one-off, an anomaly. They ended up beating Canada. They had a phenomenal tournament. But for us, it was about just regrouping, understanding that the goal remains the same. We had a players-only meeting and really reiterated that, like, hey, like, we've got each other's backs here. Don't go on social media. We've got each other's backs. Keep your heads high. Stay confident. The goal remains the same. The goal remains the same. The goal remains the same. Like, that's all that, we really needed to hear. We obviously reflected on the game. We watched some video. That was with the coaching staff. But as a playing group, we got together and our leadership group brought us in to really just make sure that we were all still really focused because it couldn't shift. we had to rectify it. We dug that little hole for us, or big hole for ourselves in tournament play. Made life a little bit more stressful for ourselves, even though at Olympic Games it's already stress plus. But we navigated it together, and it was an incredible feeling to go and beat Canada next game, and then obviously France in front of a record crowd of 28,500 people, which was just a phenomenal experience. And to have my family in the crowd was just unreal for the whole games. But I think, the goal never altered for us. We just stayed really focused, and thankfully we had the personnel to be able to, have each other's backs. Culturally, we were really sound, and we were able to come through to the finals and win a medal. But I think, it shows resilience of us as Aussies, us as Opals, us as a collective in the playing group that, maybe some of us that are a bit more experienced is, helping the younger ones along. But I think everyone did a great job of just on to the next, on to the next, on to the next,
I'm going to touch on the Opals for a second. You've played in so many different teams, but the Opals, can you talk about why it's special?
Yeah, I don't think anyone can really, unless you've worn the green and gold, grasp. Like, we're all Aussies, we're so proud, we understand that as a nation, but when you wear the green and gold and you're standing up arm in arm with your teammates, singing that anthem while representing that anthem you're representing, if that makes sense, while singing that anthem that you're representing, like it just, it's an incredible, like nothing like it feeling. And so it's ultimately the best team to ever play for. And like I said in my captain's speech that went a bit nuts on socials was, the Opals owe me nothing and I owe the program everything, just for the life experience, the joys, obviously extreme lows, but euphoric highs that the program's been able to give me and my teammates that I've been able to share it with. So yeah, like it's the representing of the country, your family, the people that have helped you get there, yourself. And then, Pearl jumps into the picture and, I've got my daughter in the crowd watching me play for Australia. She's, my husband works for a company called Sandpit, which is a hearing impaired company, and he works with clients that are hearing impaired. So he speaks a lot of sign language at home, and we teach her a bit. And so she's up in the crowd going, "Love you, love you."
Oh, so
like,
good.
You can't quite top that, like repping your country, daughters just saying "love you" in sign language. Like it's just an incredible feeling to show her what she's capable of, and just showing her and having her around amazing, strong, elite female sports people. And just hopefully inspiring her to work hard and achieve big things, whether it be in basketball or whatever it may be. So it's the best team ever.
And then coming to that bronze medal match, were you thinking about the outcome at all, or were you thinking about the processes? Yeah. Were you like what if before the game and the night before, etc.? I'm keen to know the brain.
Yeah, so I was really emotional the day of because I hadn't comprehended not winning a medal because we hadn't succeeded at the previous Olympics. Like, we had to walk away with the medal. Like, I didn't care what colour. Obviously, ultimately it's gold, but I did not care what colour. At the end of the day, the Opals will be on the podium, and that's all I could process. That's as far as I could process. And so when we got to the moment where it was really do or die, it was like, well, if we don't do this, I don't even know. I haven't prepared either way. I haven't. I didn't prepare for Rio, and I didn't really prepare for Tokyo to not win a medal. So it was a lot of struggle in that. Coming into my third Olympics at 36 years old, I was 35 last year. It was kind of I don't have a plan of how to tackle anything if we don't win a medal here. I'll probably actually retire. I'll probably go into a hole. I probably don't want to see anyone ever again. I'll probably just need a few months of just complete isolation to work on my feelings. Like, I actually had not even fathomed that. I couldn't. I didn't want to think about it, so I hadn't prepared myself for that possibility. And thankfully, I haven't needed to worry.
Yes.
So I think in that Belgium game, I was on the bench in the last few minutes, and I just was full of nothing but panic and just cheering as much as I could in stages of just like not being able to breathe, and also just like, let's go Opals, like cheering for my sisters, getting it done. But also it was quite close at the end, so it was very nerve-wracking. But in saying all that, like I said, haven't had to worry about not winning a medal. We've won it. It is an incredible feeling. I'm forever an Olympic medalist. The Opals program are forever bronze medalists at the Paris Olympics. We're a part of that legacy in an Olympic medal capacity, which is incredible. And so, yeah, nothing quite like it.
Do you feel that at the time, it sounds like the emotion came at the time as well, but a lot of Olympic medalists that I've spoken to on this podcast also find that with time it becomes better and better, and retrospectively it becomes better in terms of their experience, but at the time it was a bit of a blur?
Yeah, that's about accurate. Yeah, I look back at footage and I'm just like, but looking back on it, like I remember how there was a lot of element, like I just mentioned before, of panic and anxiety of like, oh my gosh, like we're so close to like having this slip from our fingers. But looking back on it, like the actual, the support from all over and the medal itself, even post games, like immediately post games when I came home, and I had it in my handbag and I was showing people at my Pilates class. I was going around to my sister's school and showing her classmates, and it was just an incredible feeling of community, and people like, oh, I'll never get to touch a medal. This is incredible. Like, so I've reflected, after, but as time's gone on, like you just said, yes, absolutely. I often think of, that title of Olympic medalist and, look at my medal and hold it, and it's a bit surreal that I've even gone sometimes, like I've gone to 3. Like it's I still feel sometimes like, oh man, like how blessed am I? Like, it's pinch me moments like with what I've been able to achieve my whole career. So I often, now that I'm older, definitely have more times where I try and reflect a little more on what I've achieved and not just like onto the next season, because it still is kind of like that for me. Like, oh, we moved to Melbourne in a few weeks for my Flyers season, the next WNBL season, but I am more often now than I was as a ripe old age of 36 years old, trying to reflect a little more and appreciate what I've been able to do, and still trying to do. So yeah, it's an incredible feeling, and I had, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of peace because of that medal.
Yeah, fantastic. And you mentioned just before as well, which I don't think I've really heard before, but sort of the concept around euphoric highs and catastrophic lows. Is that in basketball and in life? That's a simile. And is it all worth it? And the all-in approach, etc. Can you talk about some of the euphoric highs, which you've already talked about, but some of the catastrophic lows as well?
Yeah, I mean, losing to Nigeria was a big low for all of us to get out of at that time at an Olympics where you've got to reshape and refocus your whole mind frame to continue to get your goal. So that was that was heartbreaking. You train all that time to complete and make the team, to come into round 1 to be ready for your goal of, ultimately winning a medal when you mess up round 1. So that was tough. Getting cut from the Opals years before. My first Opals team I ever made was 2014. But I actually got cut. That team went to the World Cup in July, August. I got cut in April. They went on a couple tours, had more camps, and I got cut and was really sad about it. Went on to I was playing for the Lady Chargers at the time in the C-ball that it was then. And we ended up winning the South Conference Championship, and then we're in the final. But the coach rang me up like a week or two. I hadn't gone on any tours or anything, and he cut me, like I said earlier in the campaign. I'd just come back from playing in France. And he's like, actually, we've decided we're going to bring you onto the team. It's like, oh, great. So I hadn't done any of those. And one of the tours was to Belarus, and I don't think they had some cooked chicken one time. So it was a bit grim. So I was like, oh, no. Well, I didn't go on those grim tours. Well, and then I get to go away to the World Cup. And I've made a major tournament team ever since that time. So that, I'd never take it for granted. I was a part of the team, a squad for 5 or 6 years before I made my first team. So it's an honour to be an Opal. I'm so forever grateful. And that was a real low moment. I know I'm just like steering off the question. I always
No, that's fine.
But that was a real low moment for sure. Getting waived from I got waived from Dallas and Connecticut when I went to a couple of training camps in 2018 and 19. Yep. I ended up getting picked up by Dallas after I got waived by Connecticut, and then played the season there, but then went back the following year for training camp and then got waived. And that's fine. That's part of it, but it really hits your ego and you're like, oh my God, I'm shit. Sorry for swearing. You can bleep that out. But
no, it's fine. It's very natural. I just pressed a little button that says there's a swear word, and it's fine. You've just made me press the button. It's all good.
And then after Tokyo, I had people telling me, oh, you're going to retire now. I was 30. And then since then, I've won a WNBL MVP, a championship in the WNBL, 2 Taiwanese championships, a bronze medal at the World Cup, and a bronze medal at the Olympics. So I think I'm doing right.
And your mum, right?
Prime. Hey?
And your mum.
And I'm a mum, the best one of them all. I'm a mum. So, and the MVP award was in my first season as a fresh mum with my newborn waking me up 2 or 3 times a night for a feed. So women are so incredibly strong. You don't realize until you have to go through something, or like wake up and feed your baby on game day eve, and sleep for 3.5 hours and then drop a double the next day, because that's part of your life and that's what you have to do. But yeah, she's incredible. That's part of it all.
Talk about the Hurricane continuing the move to Melbourne in the upcoming WNBL season. We've got a new CEO. We've got a new ownership group. I'm excited. There's a couple of new team names, etc. What are you thinking about the new WNBL, which is not new because it's my age. It's 44, 1981 I think it was, or 45 this year.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about, and why are you excited about this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited that we've had investment into the league this year, and a good investment that allows us to, actually push and grow for the future, and for better pay, and for better, everything for the league, for players coming through. Because like you said, the league, I think, is the oldest league, female league in Australia.
Yep, it is, yep.
So it's about time that, proper investment was put in, especially with like the wave of growth in female basketball, particularly in America right now. So why can't we latch onto that? Because it's the same thing, right? Just different country. So I'm really excited. I love the new logo. It's fresh. It's great meaning behind it. And I think this year the media stuff's ramped up a bit more, the exposure, and that's what it's about. And I think it's an exciting time to be a part of this league for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing how accessible the league is for people to to watch games. And will there be streaming services? What channel will it be on? Like, how is the media content after games? Will highlights be easily accessible? Will, how will people be able to engage with the league, engage with their favourite teams, engage with their players? Because that's what people ultimately want, right? And I think female sports in particular, we're a lot easier to engage, but we're just a bit more personal. Not personable. That's not the right word. Cut that out. I feel like female athletes have a higher engagement level. We're just more involved with fans, I guess. I think that investment in female sport is a great thing, and I'm glad that we're at where we're at. Do I think there's more room for growth? Absolutely, but I'm just really psyched at the investment that's been put in. And looking forward to what it looks like.
And Cayla, how have you built your personal brand over the last little while as well? Because we are in an age of engagements and likes and clicks and social media, etc. And it's important for people to know behind the scenes about players, and they follow their players and they want to go and see the players because they saw them on Instagram, etc.
Yeah. So look, I've just tried to be super authentic, funny. Post random stuff. I posted my carrots the other day that I've been growing in my little hanging pots. They were tiny, hilarious. I just like to be, really authentic. I mean, of course, I post a lot of Pearl, a lot of my dogs. I just think just really genuine, just try and come. I mean, sometimes people think they know everything about you because they follow you on Instagram, and that's okay, I guess, as well, but they don't. And so I put out there what I want people, I guess, to see, and that's enough, and they don't know everything about my life, but they know enough to know that, I try and be pretty genuine. Yes, I've got dogs. Yes, I have a daughter. Yes, I love road trips. Yes, I love the beach. Cool. And I'm a bit of a crazy cat that likes to laugh at herself. So I think that's kind of been my general
transparency wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's so far been reasonably successful in that space. Not that I'm like doing it to engage that, but that certainly, like you said, is how it is kind of in life right now. And so, do I get some cool free gear because of my followers? Yeah, but I've kind of just maintained my genuine vibes the whole way through. So,
and Cayla, Cayla George, the basketballer, or Cayla George, the person, and at some point in time, playing basketball, maybe not giving it up, playing basketball might not be you every day. How would you describe you and your principles and values to other people, and what would you like your legacy to be remembered by?
Well, on court, I just would love to be remembered as like a really good teammate that just really enjoyed helping others and allowing others to be great. I love filling up other people's cups. It fills up my cup. And it's nice when my cup feels full because I filled up other people's cups. So like, that's just a real win-win for everyone. And I guess that goes for the same in life, off court. Obviously I love my daughter and I love my family. Family values are very high for myself and my husband, and he's got a very big family, and I love to spend as much time as possible with them. And I love I love people that are really accountable for things, and I hate finger pointers. So I kind of just try and like live my life that way and just not finger point.
And being
Although there was a meme somewhere, and I have to mention this because we joked about it in China. This girl on a meme was like, if you point at someone, remember you've got 3 fingers pointing back at you. I was like,
oh right, that's pretty cool.
Just take a look at yourself. I was like,
check,
you've got more
mate.
Anyway. But no, in terms of like life, I just, respect, and I try and just keep it really simple, you know, just simple joys, family time, beach walks, bit of online shopping, but that's not really a question I'm rounding again. But yeah, my morals, you said, and my values, just honesty, respect.
And some of the characteristics of being a high-performing athlete for so long, like what's something that's made you tick and your superpower when it comes to longevity and continuing to play basketball at the highest level?
That's such a good question. What keeps me ticking? Well, it used to be, there was elements that I was like, and this is getting a bit deep now, but this is what we all do these podcasts and stuff for. People want to like know you and whatever. So like when I was younger, I didn't realize until I made the Rio team that my goal was like, well, I've got to make this team because my mum and dad had separated. So I really wanted dad to be proud of me, and I'm sure he was, but they'd separated. So there was a bit of a disconnect at times, your family's broken up, and we were young, my sister and I. We're not super young. I was in grade 3. She was in grade 5. So a lot of times my motivation was, well, if I make this team, I can tell dad. If I make this team, I can let dad know that I've made the junior Aussie team, or I'm going to this trip away, or because I can go tell dad. So that really motivated me when I was younger. And it wasn't until I made the Rio team and dad said he was proud of me, I was like, oh, that I realized all of that my whole junior career, a lot of it was like, well, I was just trying to make dad proud. Anyways, but he always was. But, great, teary eyes. But now my motivation would be, and that keeps me ticking, would be Pearl. As I mentioned before, like she just takes everything in her stride, but I love that she can just be on the sidelines and watch me warm up. And one time she rocked up to a game late. We was just playing for the Dolphins up north in the NBL 1, and her dad, my husband, rocked up a bit late, and I was on the free throw, the keep way line, just someone was shooting a free throw, and she looks over at me, she's like, "Hey mum, love you." I was like, "Oh, love you, Pearly." Sorry, I'm just like snotting up and tearing up over here. So yeah, that was like, oh gosh, like what a cool perspective to have. Like, yes, I'm playing this basketball game, and yes, I was, I love nerves for a game and a bit of anxiety because it means I really care. So, prep for the game. But, some of my teammates, particularly when we were at Asia Cup, actually, I was like, what did you do to prepare for the game? Because I changed a pooey nappy and then showered my daughter and fed her a snack and then came to the team bus. What did you guys do? They're like, oh, we just woke up from a nap, had some pre-game, did my hair and makeup.
Pilates.
Yeah, like I'm doing, like it's perspective, right? So I think that answers your question.
It does, but just on that perspective, in terms of switching off basketball, did you switch off through your career pre-Pearl, and then having Pearl, did you now switch off a bit more often about thinking about basketball?
Yeah, I switch off way more with Pearl. You have to. You kind of like forced to, but like you want to because it's healthy. And for my longevity of playing basketball, I think it's healthy to have your moments of no basketball for a while. Like, I'm not going to touch a basketball this week. I've just finished the season. Let's do a week with no Spalding. Thanks. Or whatever basketball brand you like to use. So, yeah, I love it because then I can just fully be a mum and, like, go to my Pilates, hang out with Pearl, ride on a tractor and scooter and play in the sandpit. I'll tell you, a hot parent tip, get a sandpit. Amazing. They're obsessed. You will find sand everywhere, like everywhere, in your house, on your decking, everywhere. It just goes everywhere. She puts it in buckets, and it's not in my bedroom yet, which is good. So
there's been some great investment tips that I've got as a parent throughout the years. One has been a trampoline, which we mentioned before. It goes on and on and on. The other one has been one of those stick vacuum cleaners.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Right, I mean, I don't know. There's the AI ones now, that the robots and everything. But early on, I'm showing my age here. Was
my dogs hate them.
Was the stick one, particularly with rice, and the odd spag bowl picks it up with the stick vacuum cleaner, and it lasts the test of time. Now, you mentioned about switching off, and you mentioned about your hobbies, etc. Is there some secret hobby that we don't know about?
No. I love going to the beach with my dogs, like finding a dog beach. And although it's a bit scary up here because of the crocs and stuff, so you just got to watch there's no croc heads above the water. But we like in Cairns, our favourite dog beach is at Yorkeys Knob. They've got a really beautiful, it's like untouched kind of like, there's one side that's, humans only, then the other sides you can take your dogs off lead. And our dogs just have a hoot. They love it. Salt water's refreshing for everyone. So I love just getting out. I find a lot of peace in that, getting out, whether it's bushwalking with my dogs or going to a big dog park or a beach with them and having Pearl there running around. And that's really ultimately when I'm with my family, and my dogs are obviously a big part of my family. So when I can take everyone out of the house and they get happy, they've got happiness from just being out in the sand, in the water. Pearlie's happy because she's just running amok, and me and Cayla just find it really enjoyable. That's a big piece, a peaceful moment for me.
Fantastic. And then moving forward in a couple of years' time or 5 years' time or whenever that you stop dribbling and playing basketball and picking up the Spalding or whatever brand it is and playing hoops, have you thought about a plan B or is it just plan A at the moment?
No, I've got a plan B. I think a lot of people think I'll get into the media. So at this stage, that's not where my passion lies, although I'm not afraid of a microphone. So that will maybe be an option, maybe, but it's not really where my passion is. But now I've got some stuff in the works at the minute, just to like work around mentorship and community up here. Obviously, being married into a Torres Strait Islander family, I've got a big heart for, the Indigenous community, and there's a lot of amazing, talented young females up here in Cairns. Cooktown. I did a camp up in Cooktown a couple months ago. That was incredible. We did like a whole mentorship weekend. It was unreal. Hopevale, the Straits. There's some incredible talent up here. So, the mentor side, the community vibes, I think that's probably where you'll find me, life after basketball. I've got some things in the works without saying too much, but I'm excited for what's to come. And actually for the first time in a while, because there was a big period there like years ago where I was like, what am I going to do? What is my passion? Like, what do I actually want to do? What are my options? I don't want to have like 10 hands in 10 different pots. I want to really knuckle down where my passion
full
lies.
Throttle, all in.
I knew really ultimately what I wanted to do, but just wanted to make sure have a big think about it. And I think community and mentoring is where it's at for me, and I feel I'm pretty decent at it. I've got a lot of experience, and I'm actually looking forward to what that looks like, life post basketball. But I think a lot of it will be kind of a bit of a crossover with a bit of basketball and a bit of it mixed in. And then, once the basketball stuff, pro basketball life fades, then I'll be able to hit the ground running because I've already kind of started what I'm planning on doing.
You touched on just slightly the mental health in the last 10 years or so in basketball, in sport. It's become more prominent, it's more aware, there's more chat about it. I'm curious to know how you focus on that, I suppose, and also some of the practices and traits that you can do when you're in a bit of a rut.
Yeah, I think, and the biggest thing I say to young kids when they ask what's a bit of advice or whatever, when I do talks and stuff, I always say no one else determines your self-worth except for you and your small group of friends that you trust and respect. I often say, if you've got someone writing negative stuff about you or have said something negative, you don't really have to accept their negative if you would never accept something that they would say positively about you, because you don't actually know them. So that small circle of friends or family that you've got, it doesn't have to be a circle of 20, 10. It could be 4, it could be 3. It doesn't have to be. It could be just mum and dad and your sister. But it's of people that can really build you up when you need it, can let you know when, hey, that wasn't a great game, but you did this really well defensively at times too. Some honesty is great, but I think the self-worth piece, especially in this day and age, especially with social media, how it is huge. So to remind them that, the self-worth comes from you, not from what other people say about you. And don't get me wrong, I can say that and sit here and be like, yeah, self-worth is you, woo, but you can read some comments about yourself and think, oh my gosh, I'm a piece of shit. I think I'm just going to leave the game and I can't do this. It's debilitating. People have so much to say. It's absolutely effing debilitating. And other days I'll be like, stuff, I'm feeling confident today. What they got to say about me? So it's actually, it can be both worlds. And as I've gotten older, it's easier to kind of get back to I'm good. I don't know who they are, whatever. People are going to have their opinion. This is the lifestyle I have. This is, the resume and the career I've had. This is what I get. Cool. Not a problem. But yes, sometimes it still can be quite debilitating for me as a 36-year-old, but it gets easier to kind of bounce back because I'm a bit more mature about it and mature in life. But as a 20-something-year-old, when you see something written about, you're like, oh my gosh, why don't they like me? But in your 30s, you're just like, oh. And then sometimes you just get the people that you miss a layup and you ruin their parlay so that they want your family to die. And it's like, oh, well, you're an idiot, block, So, but coming back to, advice for kids, the self-worth piece is huge. So I just like to, let them know that, hey, small groups, circle that's just really just got you back, and self-worth comes from within, and just never forget that, because other people just will try and mess with it all the time. So it's important.
You touched on that sports betting thing. That's the second time that's come up in like the last week about feedback given
so
about
dumb.
people.
It's actually dumb how bad it's gotten. It's so like, you want my family to die because I missed 2 points off your parlay. Cool, mate.
That's like I hadn't explored any of that and it's perfect,
luckily we've
unscripted.
got a great
but
integrity unit at Basketball Australia that if anything got really bad, and there's been some stuff that we've had to send on just because people write the most. Like all players would get at least a little bit of something in their careers, from NBL 1 probably to WNBL, to anything you can bet on, right? And then especially like international stuff too. WNBA, oh gosh, that's horrendous over there. Oh,
it was Mitch McCarron, actually, the podcast that has just gone live today. He was talking about that same thing, that he got threatened. His wife got threatened as well.
Yeah, far out. Oh my gosh, it's nuts. My husband's never told me of anything that's come through his DMs about like any threats or any, he'd probably just tell him to F off and block him or whatever. But no, I get enough of that in my DMs. So at times, it's actually been pretty quiet recently. It's nice, this off-season vibes.
Living in Cairns, off the grid.
Yeah. So I usually keep my my DMs pretty clear. Like I delete them a lot. So I go in there and delete them. I don't want like any jargon in there. But I sometimes have a read through. There are some nice things that people say too, but You
also touched on the word, well, you're a leader, right? Has leadership always been in your blood, or is it organically built up? Have you studied leadership? Do you listen to leadership things and leadership qualities? Are you a bit obsessed by it, or is it just natural?
To me, it's just more of an organic kind of leadership. I like to be vocal. I like to use my experience if I feel like I can help someone and fill up their cup. I also, sorry, my tissue and T-shirts are double use.
I'm a parent. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I could be the sleeve. It could be Pearlie's T-shirt. But honestly, looking up to, I grew up with Tess Madgen from under 14s. We've played together. But when she took on the role of the captain of the Opals 4 years ago, it was just incredible to see how she operated and how she handled leadership and how she led, the type of leader she was, and she really inspired me. So there was more of a shift of focus of like, well, how can I be a leader like Tess, but like myself? And so I feel like Tess and I are similar in the sense we've always kind of had that organic leadership kind of style and vocal and like to lift other people up. So she slid into the role perfectly. But, she bettered herself, and I think she was doing some leadership courses and captain courses and speaking to other captains around to help how she was leading us as an Opals group. And, so she's probably my main inspiration in most recent years to really like latch on to like what a leader looks like and how you can help and how you can be better in a space over here and how you can help this type of person here and things to look out for, and that aren't just like an organic thing, So Tess is incredible and I love that girl. So
that's awesome. A couple of questions for you, Cayla. If you had to choose one streaming service, what would it be, Netflix or Spotify?
Oh my gosh. Netflix.
Interesting. What's your binge show? Like, do you do like the 8-part series, or do you like the 7 series types of shows?
Well, because Pearl is a Netflixer, so because if I had Spotify, that's cool, we could dance to music, but if I need like a quick second to go to the loo or to cook dinner, Netflix, we're watching Paw Patrol, we're watching, what else is on? Oh, Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun the Sheep,
banger.
Yep.
And I don't mind Shaun the Sheep because it's got no words really, because it's just like noises because they don't really speak in it, so it's kind of soothing for my brain.
But then you'd have to give up Taylor Swift, though.
I'm not really a Swiftie, so I'm okay with that.
Oh, right, there you go.
If that upsets people, I'm sorry. I don't mind her songs, but I'm not like crazy, like Taylor,
Yep, and if you had to go...
you can play music on Netflix. There's some music, in some of the shows.
Oh, so yes, of course.
Tacos, so you kind of get a bit of both.
Yep. If you had to go for a long lunch with friends or a long run with friends?
Lunch.
Lunch? Are you a bit of a foodie?
I wouldn't say a foodie, but I like good food.
Yep. Any shout-outs to favourite restaurants around the world, maybe?
Oh, around the world. Oh, Pearlie's got her hobby horse and she's got it stuck somewhere. My favourite restaurant in Cairns would be Osmosis in Edge Hill. It's got amazing brunch vibes, and then at night they bring the Italian chefs in and it's full-on Italian pizza pasta, amazing. Oh, you got it stuck down your top. Oh, we'll come
That's a good shout out for them. Let's hope they're on Instagram. We can tag them in the show notes, right?
Yeah, Osmosis, Edge Hill, get around it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, your scoreboard moment, which is a moment in your life which is very visible, and it could be right now, but it probably isn't right now, that you remember clearly, and then from that moment, life changed.
Yeah, I think for me, I remember sitting in my lounge room watching Cathy Freeman win her gold medal in the 2000 Olympics. So this is a really cool moment, Pearlie, where I'm getting a bit emotional thinking about something. Could you like put your hobby horse down? But so I actually got to meet Cathy in Rio, and it was such a cool moment. So cool. She's the kindest person. So yeah, it was a really cool moment. But yeah, that moment where she won her gold and, you know, wearing the whole suit with the headpiece and powerful, strong Indigenous female athlete. That was incredible.
That's amazing. That moment's come up so many times as well, and it's fabulous. And you can watch the replay 10,000 times. Now, you did mention about getting some free stuff on Instagram, having some sponsors. and at Scoreboard, we've got a sponsor in Swyftx, and Swyftx is Australia's most trusted crypto platform with over 1.1 million users in Australia and New Zealand. As part of that sponsorship, we've also... Are you into crypto, by the way?
Little bit.
Little bit. There you go. As part of that sponsorship, we sponsor a little segment called the Bucket List. Where could crypto take you? It's a bucket list sporting event that you haven't attended that you would love to attend, Cayla George, your bucket list sporting event.
So I lived in Melbourne for 5 years and was in St Kilda, so kind of close to the Oz Open. So I would feel like the buzz a little bit because there was a lot more people in town. But I would love to go to an Oz Open final. And rewinding back the clock, for the females, I'd love to see Serena, and for the males, I'd love to see Roger.
Roger Federer, a crowd favourite, and Serena, of course. So there you go. Where can crypto take you? It might take you to the Australian Open final. There you go. Now, one last question for you. 15-year-old girls, boys out there, we've always talked a little bit about advice, but what about those people that say, okay, I want to be like Cayla George? What's some advice that you want to give them?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what I said before, but also just adding on, like, that's making sacrifices is okay. Like, sometimes it's not the funnest thing to do, not going to the sleepover with your friends or the house party with your friends, but the sacrifices in the end are worth it. If you really want your goal, you have to make sacrifices. That's just a part of it. I've still never gone to a formal, so I missed both formals that I was able to potentially go to. I wasn't able to because of basketball commitments. So... I mean, if someone wants to invite me to a formal, I'd be at an older date, but still never gone to one.
There you go. There's a bucket list.
No, sacrifices are just a part of it, but they're worth it. You look back on it and you're like, I'm not losing sleep over not going to a formal. So, but I've also been able to experience a lot in my career that's still going as well. So, and, you miss out on birthdays and people's weddings and babies being born, like nieces and nephews and things like that. There's a lot that you miss, but you also get to travel the world and experience different things. And then you get to go back and tell your family and share your experiences, because ultimately you're representing them as well. When you're out and about in the world, you're representing you, your family and your country.
Cayla George, thank you so much for being on Scoreboard today to share your story, and the energy that comes through is vibrant. So thank you very much for sharing your story, the insights, the highs and lows of sport and of life as well. And I wish you all the best in the upcoming season, the WNBL, and also as a mother and managing motherhood as well and playing, and looking forward to following your progress this year.
Thank you, mate. Maybe we can get a Kleenex sponsorship next time so I don't use my T-shirt.
That's right. Shout out to Kleenex if they're listening. We will tag them in, yeah?
Yeah, thank you.